I don't know English well, and there may be mistakes. I'm 14, soon to be 15, but I'm already in ninth grade due to the fact that I took a test in fourth grade about my transfer to a higher grade. This was done because I was homeschooled as a child, and because of this, I was assigned to the class not by age, but by intelligence. I have 2 tattoos and dyed blue hair, remember this. And because of this, the director of the department looked at me as if I was different from them. And in general, I am some kind of stranger. Although I am Russian by nationality, I live in Bashkortostan. One day, the director called me about my hair, and he started lecturing me. Name, you shouldn't stand out like that. You're too colorful. We ask you to wash off your hair and hide your tattoos under your shirt. And of course, what? I didn't listen. The next day, I came back in exactly the same way, without hiding or removing anything. The headmaster was clearly displeased with this and called me to class, which almost sent me a lecture into my already empty head. After all that, I was really tired, and I decided, I'm going to do this, and he won't even want to talk to me. I waited until there was no one on the 4th floor of the school, and took a tennis ball and set it on fire. I know that they are like house checkers. The whole floor was covered in smoke, and everyone was taken out because they thought it was a fire. The next day, the police arrived at the school and began to look at the cameras and comb out who had done it. And you know what? I didn't know all my life that we had cameras, and it seemed to me that my heart rate was greater than if I fell from the roof with a parachute. Of course, it was hard to see on camera, and only blue hair was visible. I just thought that at the age of 14, I would already be sitting in a pre-trial detention center and telling others what I had done. But it turns out that we have another blue-haired girl in school who just before said, I'm going to burn this school. Everyone counted on her, and I was left unpunished. But you know what? I was terribly frightened. I didn't feel sorry for that girl just because she was that who, at the age of 15, was known for being 1 month pregnant after another abortion. It's been a month since then, but I'm still shaking at the thought of what would happen if the others found out that girl had dyed her hair blue the morning before the police arrived. Lol. Hello, folks. We're live at the Olympics. Everyone is very excited about the running race. All eyes will be on Biff Bobs, who is representing Brazil. Biff Bobs has already won 4 medals here at the stadium. Here come the athletes now. Biff Bobs looks a little angry as she gets ready to race. And they're off. Biff Bobs and Doo Doo Deeper are neck and neck as they near the finish line. The crowd is on their feet, sticking your giant for the Rizzler. Biff Bobs has won, and it's a world record. We quickly move to the medal ceremony. This is very emotional. We just heard that this is Biff Bobs' last Olympics. Tears are in Biff Bobs' eyes as Brazil's flag is raised and infinite bottles of pop on the wall is played. It's an awesome day for Biff Bobs and all the people from Brazil. Okay, so a little background before we begin. I'm a big blonde dude, 28, from an awfully snowy part of Pennsylvania. I've been a loner since my parents passed, really, but I work hard, and I do no harm to anyone. So here's where we begin. Recently, I was laid off extremely suddenly with no severance package. I live alone, and all of my savings has been eaten up by medical bills from a recent round of extensive testing to check for some serious issues. Everything's okay. I came home the other day to an unexpected shut-off notice from my electric company. I thought to myself, damn, I must have missed one. No harm, no foul. It's only $150. We got this. I opened my checking account to see that my other bills have helped themselves to the last of my savings. I have $50. Shit, I muttered. After scrambling through every shifty app possible, Chime, Dave, Monillion, etc., trying to get an advance with no luck, I went to social media to scroll through some memes and relax. I saw someone I know had posted a meme saying, I'll shovel your driveway in a thong for $200. I giggled and commented, I'll do it for $100, thinking nothing of it. So I got a message from said person saying, if it's okay if my friends and I can drink beer and make fun of you while you do it, I'll totally give you $100. I thought about my grandfather who worked a whole bunch of odd jobs until it bought him a business who once said, no work is humiliating as long as it keeps the lights on. So I found a Speedo I bought as a meme a year or so ago, my boots, my hat, and my jacket, and walked down to said person's house, took my sweatpants off, and shoveled the driveway while being called every name you can possibly think of. They even threw beer cans at me, and I took it all in stride. I could, sort of, see the humor. I had forgotten my phone at home upon returning home. I realized quickly said person had not paid me, blocked me, and his friends followed suit. If my misfortune made you laugh, donations will be accepted and appreciated at Dollar a Spooky Coast. Every dollar will go to my electric bill. If it gets shut off, I'll be evicted and my 2 cats and I will freeze. I told this story at work the other day and it got a few chuckles, so I thought I'd share it. About 15 bazillion years ago, that's what it feels like. I was a high school student going through a phase in which I bounced around between atheist and agnostic. Like many young people, I was raised in a religion, but left it for a time. I was discussing this very thing with a friend of mine who ran the Bible club on our campus. That friend asked me something about what rules or morals I followed without a religion. I thought about it for a moment, took out a notebook, and wrote 4 pages of bullshit. Page 1. Does it make you feel good? Does it make others feel good? Does it not cause you harm? Does it not cause anyone else harm? Page 2. Right on. Page 3. Does it make you feel bad? Does it make others feel bad? Does it cause you harm? Does it cause other people to be harmed? Page 4. Stop it. I wrote the my name omitted Bible on the front page and gave it to my friend. He laughed. Of course he did, because it was a joke. I shared that joke with other friends and made them their own little pamphlets. He showed it to a few other kids, too. It stopped being funny by the end of the day, so I dropped that joke. About 2 months later, I got called into the office to speak with the vice principal and a guidance counselor. My friend was there too. People had been leaving my friend's Bible club to follow what they called Masum. The vice principal asked me if I was trying to start a cult. The guidance counselor asked me if I thought that I was an actual prophet, and my friend informed me that my little pamphlet was making students leave his Bible club. To this day, I don't know who was making printed copies of my 4-page Bible, but I did meet 2 students who called me a prophet. There was a school-wide announcement that the copying of my Bible was banned and that no prophet was present in the school. The school considered having an assembly in which I announced that I was not a prophet, but decided against it. Only a few dozen students knew about Masum, and they didn't want to build up the cult. Hilariously, a written statement was sent out to every classroom and to students' homes that a cult had formed in the school, but the issue was dealt with swiftly. In response to the cult activity at my school, every social studies class had to spend a week studying the Jonestown Massacre and the events leading up to it. Mandarin voice, I did that. I know that I am not great at telling stories, but that is one of my favorites. I can still remember how I was sweating in terror as I had school officials questioning me about starting a cult and attempting to have students follow me. My parents were livid until I was able to convince them that it was a joke that got out of hand. I would be much more concerned about who was passing out the pamphlets and getting followers, though. That dude must have been very charismatic to get people to take my joke as actual gospel. So there's this girl I met senior year, good heart, smart, fantastic smile, cute sneezes, the whole package. I figured, why not? So I've spent this year with no expectations, just building a friendship and seeing where it goes. We're having great conversations, sharing details and advice, and I feel super happy when I'm around her. Now my school has this dance coming up called court warming, and the girls ask the boys. I hung out with this girl last week. We both had fun. I'm enjoying her. She's enjoying me. I'm starting to get some feelings, which is a slow thing for me, and now I'm even starting to expect I might get an invitation to court warming from her. So you can imagine my smile when I get a call, and she's pulled up at the edge of my driveway. I grab my coat, breathe deep, open the door, and make my way down the porch stairs. Well, about halfway down the driveway, I see that her friend has gotten out of the car and is holding a sign. A court warming sign. I swear it's like someone hit me with a brick. I just stand there stunned for a second, and then blurt out, sure. Now her friend is nice, but I've got no interest. I'm definitely not going to be the guy that backs out of a court warming date, not that it would do me any good. So now I'm going to spend court warming pretending to have a good time while my now crush dances with somebody else. Not the end of the world, and there's always prom, but damn. So, how's your day? Worse? Better. I would get at least 10 calls a day on an old number. I'd always try different ways to mess with them, tell me jokes, sing with me, and so on. It was usually a spoofed number, so you can't call back. A few times it wasn't. One time I called back, and a woman answered, starting her speech. I interrupted her and started yelling that it wasn't working, that she needs to tell people something different, and that if she can't start showing better numbers, that I was going to fire her. She started apologizing and said she was just following what is in her scripts and what she was told to say, got her to agree to try harder and start using different names more before someone I'm guessing overheard her and the gig was up. It was a glorious 5 minutes. I 23F have been going to the same restaurant since I was 5 with my family. Only on special occasions do we go and normally with family friends. The last time we went, and potentially the last time I ever will go, we went with our family friends to celebrate their daughters' graduations from high school. The restaurant had 2 seating areas both indoors, but one of the rooms was shut off that particular night by some wooden sliding doors, so the first half of the restaurant was fairly packed. Our table was right next to said sliding doors. At some point after our meal, the girls want to go to the bathroom, and as they had never been, I offered to go help them find it. And this is where my shame begins. As I stand up, I lose my balance in the dip that leads into the sliding doors, slam into them, forcing them open with what felt like the world's largest bang as the wood smashed against itself, and taking down a chair on the other side of said sliding doors in the process. The thunderclap bang of those doors alerted everyone to my fall. The restaurant goes silent for what feels like forever. No escape, no pretending it didn't happen. I contemplated just staying down and dying there. But eventually, beet red, I stand up and awkwardly show the girls to the bathroom. To make matters worse, they didn't fully see me go down, so I had to explain, not once, not twice, but 3 times what had happened, and be laughed at by kids 5 and 7 years younger than myself.